Hey, what's going on, family? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to be back. So, John, hello. How's it going? Empathic Starseed, how are you doing? Melanie Strong. All right. Finally got to it live. All right. Glad to have you here. Glad to be back. So, took a week off last week. So, went to the Grand Canyon. So, me and my kids went to the Grand Canyon. So, man, that was a lot of fun, guys. Got to actually take a helicopter ride over the Grand Canyon. That was a blast. Oh my God. That was crazy. Ashley Hill, hello. Crystal Turner, what's going on? Families in the house. Charmaine Star Up Nose, hello. Nash Colon, hello. Fort Law's in the house. What's going on, Fort Law? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So glad you're here. So Grand Rising, who was that? Three Liza Moon. Okay, hello. And Jonah Wick, hello. Robert Bush, what's going on, brother? How you doing? And Dulce Maria, what's going on? Hey, what's up, Dulce Maria? Good to see you. So hello. Hey, I appreciate that, John Wick. So John Wick says, big fan, man. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate that. Most definitely. I love what I do, man. So it's just waking people up, man. And those that want to be awakened. So that's the thing for me. I ain't trying to force nobody to do anything. So if you want it, come get it. It's here. So Black Unicorn Alchemist, hello. And let's see, Nikolai Belinsky, hello. How are you? B Gaines, what's going on? Let's see, Corner Block from California. A, what's up? Oren Roberts, hello. David Rich, hello. Renee Rogers, hello. How are you? And Zuri Akua Lauren is in the house. What's going on, sister? Good to see you. And Yuri Sorzano, hello. So good to see you. And let's see, that's Kaz Guru. Okay, I'm trying to say that name. All right. Hello. Good to have you here. Queen of Destiny, what's going on? Good to have you. So families in the house. Ashley Hill, hello. Let's see. Ready to spend all my coins on the next class available. All right, Ashley. All right. Good to have you here. Dulce Maria gave $9.99 off the $99.99 off the bat. Girl, you're going to get me dancing up in here. What's up? Thank you. Let's get this live started. She went like, pow. Right off the bat. See, this is my people, man. They just like they keep me going, man. Those were I might have to shed a tear. Woo. No, but seriously, I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much. Teresa Beverly, what's going on, girl? You made it. What's happening? Lothario Cartwright, hello. Eugene Dorsey, what's going on? Thank you. I am back. All right. And who's at the Empress Tarot Root Room? Says she's carried first live. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Believe Holmes. How much? Let's see. How much is your course? If that's the first question you're asking, Believe Holmes, it probably ain't for you because it's about the value that you get. But at any rate, it's so $423 for a year. Access, and right now it is closed, so I'm not taking any new students right now. And then if you don't have that money saved up, then you can do a $97 a month for 6 months. Okay, and that's for a year's access. Let's see, David Rich, that helicopter ride was everything, man. That was crazy. I mean, it was like the Grand Canyon was so vast. It's like we're riding in the helicopter and we're going close to 200 miles an hour in the helicopter. And it looked like we are just creeping along. It almost looked like we're just hovering, that we're just moving so slow because it's just, the Grand Canyon is just so big. So it was amazing. But just to see, and we went like right at when the sun was coming up. So it was 8 o'clock in the morning there and the sun was coming up. And man, it was like those mountains and stuff. It was like they were painted. It looked like a watercolor painting. It was so amazing. It was like wow. So that was like a trip of a lifetime. And then we went to so we stayed in Flagstaff, which is like about an hour south of the Grand Canyon. And then about an hour south of Flagstaff is oh man, I just drew a blank. Is Sedona, and Sedona is literally like an energy vortex on the Earth. So it's like a chakra vortex for the Earth, and you can go down there and go into the mountains and stuff, meditate, and just connect with the Earth in a way that just is just amazing. And man, even just to drive down to Sedona, the scenery and stuff was so beautiful. It was crazy. You got these, because when you're driving to Flagstaff, it's pretty much desert, okay? But then when you're driving, then when you get to Flagstaff and you start heading south to Sedona, then all of a sudden it's forest. You got a lot of forest, and then you got mountains, you got trees growing on the mountains. So you have this contrast of green and red that is just, it blows your mind. I mean, it was so beautiful, so crazy. Queen of Destiny gave $10. Thank you, Queen of Destiny. Says, welcome back. You're the bomb. Manifest forever. Absolutely, positively, manifest forever. So for real. So thank you so much. Again, that's family again. So they give to me, man. So they give to me in such wonderful ways. It's not just the money that they do. I mean, it's just, man, the way that they just in the class and just in the Facebook group, man, there are some wonderful people. And I'm telling you, we have such wonderfully talented individuals that is in this class that's doing their thing to reach humanity in their way. And I mean, it's amazing. We got some amazing people in this class, and I'm so happy and honored that they would even take my class and just be there with me, you know. So it's amazing. So Martha is in the house. What's going on, Martha? Good to see you. Good to see you. Y'all gonna hear from Martha next week. Martha's doing some big things. She's doing big things. So we're gonna have her on next week. I told y'all that I've I just put this on the community page, but man, I got some guys that have been with me, and Martha's one of them that's been with me for pretty much going on a year, and these guys are starting to step out and starting to do their thing, and Martha is one of them, and she does hypnotherapy where she and she'll be able to explain it a little bit better. But it really helps like clear your energy fields, clear your chakras, connect to information in a way that it helps you to solve your problems, man. And it's amazing. So she's actually helped me with some things, and it's crazy. It's crazy what she does. Crazy good. So Menace Aptara is in the house. What's up? What's up? Good to have you. Good to have you. Thank you for being here. But it's crazy. So she'll be on here next week, and then, excuse me, in the near future, I'm gonna have another one of my students who, again, they've used these principles to start to build themselves to where they're going to start to build businesses where they're going to help others too. And that for me is like extremely exciting, because that's what I've always envisioned my platform to be. To me, it's not just about gaining followers. It's about building leaders. And that's what this is so exciting for me. I'm just beside myself, you know, with people that are stepping out and ready to do their thing and do it from a KCL perspective, because when it comes to the Kemetic space, KCL is different. So we go through love and positivity, and not all this negativity and hate that a lot a lot of others do and promote. We don't want to do that because we understand that it is about a high vibrational experience, and developing from a high vibrational experience. So we want positivity. When we're creating, we're focused on what we want to create and not what all the problems are. So when when my students are starting to take on those principles and starting to develop their business from those principles, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So the world is not going to be the same. Trust me. So Judy Smith Randall's in the house. What's up? Let's see. And shalom, Air Syrian. This Air Syrians. Hello. All right. But yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So we're ready. KCL is gonna be up in his house. I can't say that, but anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah. So Ruben's in the house. I didn't see Ruben come in. What's up, Ruben? What's up, man? So good to have you. It's so good to see my family here. So my African Mind Rewire family as well. So man, love these guys to pieces for real. Hola, Heru. Hola. What's going on? Good to have you. All right. So again, I'm Reginald Kuakaru. So for anybody that's, I guess, here for the first time, so I'm the founder of Kemetic Centered Living, and I have my class, African Mind Rewire. The class is closed right now, so if you want to get on the list, check in the video. What do you call it? The video where you have all the writing. God, dog, I can't even remember. But check there, and you have a link where if you're interested in the class, you can get on that list, and I'll notify you when the class is open again. But in the meantime, I have a couple of courses that you can also take now. So I just keep those open. So anybody that want to take the courses, just go to KemeticCenteredLiving.com, and you can see the FAQ, and then you can go to the FAQ, and then you can scroll down and you can see sign up for the course. So you can do that. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get a link for you, Eugene. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me see. Let me get a link. So yeah. But this is exciting stuff, man. Exciting. So doing big things. So yeah. All right. So okay. So I'm getting that link, and I'll just let's see. I'm gonna have to modify it a little bit here. So that's the link. All right. So here's the link to the website. KemeticCenteredLiving.com, and go there, and let me see the link for the list to sign up. So if you're interested in the class, you can get on the wait list. Let me see if I can find that right quick and get y'all a link there. Oh man, they're making me sign in and everything. Doggone it. Okay, let's see. What we got? Okay. So here is the list to sign up for, or the wait list. You can get on the wait list for the class. Okay. So doing big things. Okay. So we got a nice crowd in tonight. So again, this is about positivity and high vibrations all the time. So if you guys got some questions, y'all can start asking some questions, and man, we can just flow from there. So I know one of the things I did want to touch on, so nobody's asking any questions right now that I can see, but I wanted to touch on, and this is something that I talked about in our Facebook room this morning, was when people start to really start stepping out and they're starting to develop a business where they're helping people and they're doing things to help humanity. And the idea comes up, and a struggle that a lot of us spiritual people have is like charging money. Okay. And the idea is that a lot of people, especially within the Black community, we feel like spiritual stuff should be free. Now, mind you, nothing that's ever done in a church has ever been free, because you go there and you got to give tithes, you got to give money, you got to give time, there's always a cost of something. But the bottom line is that the model of somebody that is giving you everything for free, how do they sustain that? How does a person give and give and give? Okay, they don't get anything back. How is that sustainable? Because it's not, So you have to understand that in the universe, there's always an energy exchange. Always. If you give something, you get something back. And that's a constant flow. And if you always are taking and never giving, guess what's going to happen? Is that you're going to remain in a state where you're going to be in a state of lack. Because you already have a mentality that you cannot, that you want to take and you cannot give, and that's something that has to be stopped. Okay, and I know I did a video on that, and the video is called "How Do I Create More Income?" Okay, and I give you some principles to use, and the principles are about priming the pump. Okay. And if you're and this principle, I talk about it in forms of money, but when we're talking about priming a pump, that's a prime law of the universe. Is about anything that you want or that you desire, you have to prime the pump. And priming the pump means that you give a little first to let the universe basically signal to the universe, hey, this is what I want. I want more of it. And when you signal that to the universe, then the universe knows what to bring back to you. Okay, or what to send back to you. So if it's money that you want, you can't be tight with it. Okay, and then don't get me wrong. I'm not saying go out and spend stuff like that. That's not what I mean. I'm not talking about being irresponsible. Okay, but what I'm talking about is that if you want abundance, you have to have an abundance mentality. And if you think in terms of lack, like I got to hold on to my money. I'm broke. I'm struggling. All that stuff is basically sending to the universe that you're priming the pump for lack. If you're constantly saying, "Oh, the struggle is real," guess what the universe gives back to you? Okay, it gives you it confirms that for you, and it gives you the scenarios, the people, the events that make sure that you struggle, because the universe doesn't think. Okay, all of these ideas of a chosen people and stuff like that, God has a chosen people and all that kind of stuff, that's idiocy. Okay, the universe does not think. It is mathematical laws that you can act on. And when you act on them in a certain way, it has to respond a certain way to you. And when you want abundance, you have to think that and be that. You have to prime the pump. You got to do those things. So when we're talking about people that are giving their gifts, do not expect people to give that stuff for free, man. That's just not, it's crazy that people do that. I had one guy ask me one time, he says, this knowledge is free. It's our ancestral knowledge is free, so why are you charging for it? And I had to explain to him, I'm like, you know what, brother, the knowledge is free. Okay, so but even still, you're gonna have to buy a book, okay, to go and get something. So you're gonna buy a book, which is probably not something that I produced, or probably not something that we produced, okay, because we didn't have access to all that information. All right, and then on the same hand, the knowledge, you're not paying me for what's in the book, because I give you guys the books. I give. So if you never want to give me anything and you just want to get it from the books, I give that information to you where I got information from. But if you want my expertise, in teaching, you want my wisdom that I've gained over the years through all my ass kickings. That's what it is. I've had my butt kicked so much. I've learned some good lessons, and I've learned them hard. I've earned those lessons. I've earned that wisdom. But I explained to him, you're not paying me for knowledge. You're paying me for my expertise and my wisdom, my expertise in teaching. And those are skills and wisdom that I've gained over the years. Okay. So yes, I'll give you the books, but you're not going to get the same level of information that I get and I give you and I teach you. I guarantee you that you won't. Okay. But again, if you're somebody that, you want to learn on your own, you want to do that, hey, more power to you. But if you want a shortcut in a way and you want to get the straightest path to learning the knowledge and how to practice it, that's what I'm going to help you with. Okay. So that's how that works. Yes, I agree with that, Judy Smith. You are so right. Our people they equate poverty and lack with being more spiritual, which is absolutely crazy, But you're absolutely right that happens. That we equate, and I know in the black churches that is that way a lot of times. Now it's shifting a little bit, It's starting to shift. I guess probably in the last 15, 20 years, it's starting to shift a little bit. That ideas or those ideas are not taught like that. But it's still too rampant in too many places. I mean, I know here in Dallas, and there's an area in Oak Cliff where you can drive less than a mile, and I am not exaggerating when I say this. You can drive less than a mile, and there are 5 churches right in a row on this one particular street, and then around the corner there's another big mega church. Okay. And you see this, and these neighborhoods a lot of times are poverty stricken. Around the world, there are over 400 million Christians. And I speak specifically to Christianity because that's my experience. That's what I grew up with. So I'm not trying to attack Christianity. That's just been my experience. That's what I know. But I know that there's 400 million people of the African diaspora around the world that live in poverty. Guys, I was watching this Netflix show, and this guy was going around in Africa, and he was just like sampling food, so he was a foodie, and he was going around just getting different dishes. And this one African brother was showing them around their village, and their whole village was built on water. Okay. The village was just, it was shambles basically. And he pointed out 2 or 3 churches in this village. And I'm like, man, and the churches were in shambles, and we don't make the connection that there is something wrong if we got all these churches and people are still not prosperous. Something is wrong, and that we need to ask questions there, on some way, shape, or form. It's crazy. What is your knowledge about the Twa people? I know a little as far as they being ancient people, and they were pygmies. So that's about as much as I know that a lot of the spirituality is they started it. Okay. So a lot of spirituality, all the stuff that's really around the world. So they started it. Okay. Let's see. See, Brenda Shamlin says the expertise you've obtained over the years is priceless. Your teaching is at a PhD level. Everyone cannot do what you do as well as you do. Thank you, Brenda. I really appreciate that. And that's something that I've always prided myself on is being able to, first of all, learn these ideas and then put them in a way that people can understand. Because a lot of times we have people, I've seen people just basically just regurgitate stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't need to be read to. I can read the book. But we need the ability to understand these and put these principles in. So that's what we need to do. Charmaine Stirrup Noel says, does the world actually end? No. Excuse me, guys. I had just eaten. But no, the world is not going to end. That is a misapplication and misunderstanding and a misinterpretation of biblical scripture. where it says, Jesus says, I'll be with you till the end of the age. It says to the end of the world, but it's supposed to be to the end of the age. And it is about astrology. So the end of an age, the Piscean. Okay. So this is stuff that you can look up, but all these signs that people are always saying that the world is about to end and Jesus is coming back, all of that stuff can be found back in ancient Kemet. The answers to a lot of this stuff can be found in ancient Kemet. So let's see. So no, the world doesn't actually end. What is your opinion on living in reverse? That is the inorganic ones, if you will, befuddling men from being men. See, this is the way I look at a lot of that, Eugene. All experience is valid. Okay, the creator of the universe does not say, you know what, I don't think that should be created. You know, that shouldn't be created right there either. Let's get rid of it. Let's not do that. You know, anything that is in creation is valid to exist in its way. Okay. Does that mean that we have to agree with everything that goes on? No. But I think that we need to have a more tolerant spirit and understand that everybody has a right to exist as they are. Okay. And we don't have any right or power to tell somebody else how to be. If somebody wants to wear, a man wants to wear dresses, hey, that's their deal. Let them do their thing. You know. Now, personally, you wouldn't catch me dead but that's just my thing. You know, I don't agree with that. But if I see a dude in a dress, I'm gonna look at him and go, okay, well, I mean, if that's what you want to do. So a lot of times we want to, and I know this comes from Christianity, is that there's these rules that everybody is supposed to follow. You do it like this and this and this, you know? And if you're not doing it like that, then that's a problem. You're out of step with God, you know? And it ends up producing an intolerant spirit with people, you know, because it's like you're trying to dictate to people how they're supposed to live their life. And that's not how it's supposed to be. So any experience is valid, and it is valid for souls to learn and to gain wisdom and knowledge through their lifetimes. So in my mind, let live, you know, live and let live. Let's see. Why does the age of Pisces come before the age of Aquarius when the sign comes after Aquarius on the astrology? It's dependent on the way that you're going around the wheel. So if you go one way, then yes, Aquarius. If you go, I think counterclockwise, I think if you go counterclockwise, Aquarius might be before Pisces, and I can't remember. Or you go clockwise and Pisces is before Aquarius. But the way that we look at it on Earth, I know that the way we go by how the Earth rotates and how those things look in the sky. So it's just our vantage point. Okay. Lothario, you can go to my my Cash App. So my Cash App is $2 Ku Akaru. So Ku Akaru 1. I think that is. I think that's right. Why in the hell am I on slow mode? That don't make any sense. Okay, I think that's my Cash App. But that's another way to do it. So go through the Cash App, and I appreciate that. All history is his story. Yes. Let's see. Ruben says, "Hey, teach, if you have non-positive people in your life or people who upset you, whether family or friend, should we just let them go?" Ruben, you know what? I was thinking about that question the other day about talking to people about that, and that's a hell of a question to ask. A good question. And how I've handled that is I am very selective about the people that I allow in my space. And I'm also selective about people that I talk about certain things too. So there are people that I really love and care about, but when I'm talking about my dreams and things that I want to do and what I want to accomplish, a lot of times I can't talk to my family and friends about that, because invariably they will throw water on my fire in a way. They'll say something negative. They mean good, they mean well, but they'll say something in a way that basically kind of tempers my fire about what I want to do. And I've had to learn just that I can't talk to them about that stuff. So, but there are also people where if they're toxic, and this is how I define this, and guys, you might want to use this idea. A toxic person in your life, a toxic person to you, is if you interact with that person some kind of way, and say 7 out of 10 times you interact with that person, and once you leave that interaction with them, you feel worse than when you got there talking to them, whether it be on the phone, in person, or whatever. If you feel worse after talking to them more times than not, that person is probably toxic to you. Okay. Now, if it's a family member, I'm going to say, hey, I'm noticing this is happening when I talk to you, and I'll try to communicate with them. But at some point, if that person is toxic to me, I can't be around them, and I cannot allow them in my space. Okay. Because it brings you down. It brings you down in so many areas of your life. And you don't want to have to fight that battle all the time. So if a person that you talk to, I don't care whether it's friends, family, parents. I've literally, there was a time when my mother was so toxic to me, I had to stop talking to her. I literally had to walk away for about 3 or 4 months. I basically disappeared from her life, because I'm like, right now I'm carrying my own load, and I can't carry yours too, and in a lot of ways she was being very toxic to me, and I had to walk away from her, for a while. And I basically had to train her how to treat me as an adult, because a lot of times parents have a hard time switching from you being their child to you being the adult. I don't care how old you are. They a lot of times you're still their child, So I had to train her how to treat me. So, and now it's cool. I mean, we get along fine. Yesterday was her birthday. We went out and ate, and we talked, and just had a good time. But there was a time that she was toxic to me. I've had friends that were basically they're good friends, they're good people, but when I bring up my ideas that things that I want to do, say something that I won't say usually. A lot of times, too many times for me, they'll say something negative. I just have to say, hey, I can't. I can't talk to them. So I stop giving that information to them. So you have to pick and choose what you need to do. If a person is really bad, negative all the time, you might have to cut them out for a little while. And that's kind of what I do. And it works the same with, just women in dating, man. I can't, I will not let a woman in my space that is a negative woman. I just can't do it, So, and that happens, so yeah. Yes, absolutely, Crystal Turner. So Crystal says paying attention to how we feel after someone is in our presence is a good practice. Absolutely. And again, if they are constantly bringing you down, then you have to question that relationship, and when I say question it, that means that you have to assess it, try to do your best to fix it, let them know what's happening, what you notice. But if things don't change, then you have a decision to make, plain and simple. So Ruben gave $20. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you, T. That's just what I needed to hear. Awesome. Yeah, Ruben. And it's just something, again, that I had to make decisions about and still do. So even new people that enter into my life, I have to assess our conversations. And now I like creating relationships where we can dream. We can dream big about things that we want to do. So those are type of relationships that are important for me now, that we can connect on positive things. So not just a negative, not trauma bonds. And I call a trauma bond is when we connect over our traumas and over the things that's negative and bad that's happening in our life. And too many times, especially as Black people, we connect with trauma. We connect with people through trauma, through our traumas, and that's just, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. So trauma bonds are not a good thing. Let's see. 222 Bree says, I'm on the same tip with my mom right now. It makes me feel bad because I can see she's trying now, but I still need my healing time. I had to leave the house still in high school. No, Bree, and you have to know that it's okay for you to take care of yourself, because I understand the guilt, because it was something that I dealt with too, but you have to be able to take care of yourself, or else you end up drowning in that negativity. You end up drowning in that energy, man. It is not cool. Not cool at all. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Judy Smith Randall, absolutely. We have the right to choose our friends. And I choose them carefully. Again, I mean, I don't, in my friends, the women, my family, all of my relationships, I look at how they are. And a lot of times it ends up putting me in a space where there's not a lot of people in my circle, and I'm okay with that, especially when I'm building and creating. I'm okay with that, because I don't want people end up planting negative seeds. And when you plant those negative seeds, they always have the potential to grow. And I don't want those negative seeds planted inside me, not especially when I'm in a creative mode. Let's see. My brother, can you give me your Cash App again? Sure. Yeah, Russell Peterman. Absolutely, and I appreciate it. Let's see, cool. One. So that's my Cash App there. So thank you very much. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely, Dulcie Real. She's learned how to take care of herself, and that's important. And that's something that we all really should learn, because we're taught a lot of times that we have an obligation, that we should sacrifice. But guys, those are negative emotions and negative energy, and you shouldn't do things out of obligation and sacrifice. That's something that Christianity has taught us that is detrimental to us, and you should shift that energy to where it should be something from a positive perspective. Like all of us that have ever had children, we've done for our children because we loved them, and we would give the shirt off of our back for our children, And in that sense, there's not necessarily a sense of obligation. It's just the love that you have for your child, that you want to make sure that they're taken care of. That's a totally different perspective and a totally different energy than feeling like you are obligated and you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for other people. And I know for women, you've been taught that idea that you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for your family, to where it's really detrimental to women in a lot of cases, especially in marriages and stuff like that. And you have a right to have your needs met as well. Okay. Let's see. And Shauna A says, I'm actually trapped in some abusive relationships with my family. I just don't know where to find my inner peace without being in a toxic environment. Yeah, and you just got to try different things, Shauna. So you have to try something to help you find your peace. And a lot of times your intuition will guide you, so you got to tap into that. And you can't just like give up and just sit there and let things happen. You got to try to create something different, you know, and it might just be trial and error that happens in, you know. Let's see. Someone asked me that maybe they have met their soulmate. I understand that soulmate is a greatly misunderstood concept. Could you expand? Yeah, and a lot of times soulmate, Brenda Chambliss asked that question. A lot of times soulmate is only put in the context of a romantic relationship. But we actually have soulmates that we travel through different lifetimes with, and people that we're very close to in the soul world. And so a soulmate can be a brother, it can be a sister. I mean, it can be different people that are very close to you, and it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. I know a lot of times we assume that we're always going to meet our soulmates in a lifetime, and that's not always the case, because sometimes you don't know, you might not know what the lesson is that you're supposed to learn in this particular life. And your soulmates might not be with you along that journey, you know, but they're not just romantic relationships. On the same tip, the twin flame idea, where supposedly one soul splits in half, and the twin flame is looking for themselves. That for me is that's a huge stretch and not very, how can I say, metaphysically real. I'm looking for a word, but a soul does not split in half because supposedly the twin flame, the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect is supposed to split, and then they're going to be looking for each other. That is not possible. All of us have a masculine and feminine aspect. Symbolically, the feminine is our inner self, is inside of us. The masculine aspect is the active part of us, that the feminine might bring us our intuition, and then our masculine aspect acts on it. Okay, so you're never without that part of you, ever. You do both parts. Okay, as a soul, you always have those, and as a human being, you always have your inner self and then your active masculine aspect. Okay, and Crystal gave $19.99. Thank you, Crystal. Definitely appreciate it. That's family again, man. Family. Thank you. Charmaine, yes, I am on Facebook, Reginald Kuakaru. So if you do contact me on Facebook, let me know who you are. Just say, hey, I was in your live or something like that. Send me a message or something. So I don't always just give people access, again, because you can literally create your consciousness on your timeline. And what I mean by that is if you mostly see negative stuff coming across your timeline, you chose those people. Okay. So I want to choose people who are uplifting. I want to choose people who are basically understand the principles that I want to live by, you know? So I don't just like indiscriminately just collect friends, you know? So yeah, just let me know you're on the live. Rob, the creators in the house, what's going on? Good to see you. Do you believe in the spirits we choose the family we're born into? Absolutely, Laurel. Yes, we choose the family. We have soul contracts that we have to engage in, and that's what I was talking to somebody today. He was asking me about judgment, like the judgment of Ma'at. And a lot of times we don't understand the idea of when Osiris is called the judge, and that's Osiris is the judge, the aspect of the soul that is within us. And as a judge is not necessarily a judge more than just being discerning about your experiences. So there's no judgment or punishment in the soul world, because all of us have roles that we have to play in each other's lives. Sometimes we have to be the bad guy. Sometimes we have to be the good guy. or the good guy. But we have roles, and it's not to say that we don't have consequences from playing those roles, but there's no punishment. And so there's no judgment day or anything like that where you're judged and then you're like banished to hell, or you come back as a fly, or all this kind of stuff. That's not the case, because those are all, a fly would be a totally different consciousness. But you discernment comes in the soul world. It's about, did you fulfill the contract that you set out? Did you learn what you were supposed to learn when you came to Earth, and you made the contracts with all the people? Did you fulfill that? Okay, those are the questions that are asked. Okay, if you did, then you get a chance to move on to another life, and doing whatever you want to do. Move to something totally different, something totally new. If you haven't, then the energy is going to keep you tied to that lesson. And those people are going to you're going to be tied to those people in that lesson. Okay. So that's where the Osiris being a cycle is an energetic cycle. If you don't learn your lesson, then you get the chance to learn again, not burn. Okay. So you get to learn forever, not burn forever. And that's where Christianity is gotten off as far as that's concerned. Let's see. Queen of Death says there's at least 9 types of soulmates. Wow, I didn't know it was that many. But I guess there's you have a soul pod that you incarnate with over and over and over. So, and any of those can be soulmates at any time. And usually you're on the same level. Okay. So Dulce Maria's again, she's giving again, 1999. Wow, Dulce Maria, thank you. See, so thank you for touching on about how to deal with toxicities and trauma bonds. This live is another session knowing that I'm not alone in what I'm going through in my life, also with others too. Thank you again, Reg. You're welcome, Dulce Maria. And thank you always. So for real. Let's see. Negative energy to positive. Yeah, Empress, to change negative energy to positive, just flip it and change it. So focus on the positive. So a lot of times we might be having bad things that are happening in our life, but we have to find the good, or the lesson, the good thing that's going to come out of that. Because how many times have we went through something that was really traumatic for us at some point in our life? And then we look back on it, and it ended up being the catalyst to have us change to become something better. Okay. So the trick is in that moment, rather than being swept away in the emotion and being swept away in the negativity, do your best to find something positive that you can gain from that, So, and it's about perspective. That's all it is. It's shifting from one perspective to another. Okay. So is Freemasonry teaching Kemetic science or something similar? The symbology looks a lot alike. Yeah, they get a lot of it from ancient Kemet. So a lot of the symbolism. I was in the Masons for a little while. They ended up kicking me out because I asked too many questions. They didn't like me. But anyway, I found it. They didn't understand how I knew a lot of their so-called secret stuff, and I wasn't like trying to show them up. It was just I was studying the Kemetic stuff. I knew what the symbolism meant, and they just didn't. They couldn't grasp how I knew something that supposedly like one of their higher ups was supposed to know. But it's just because I studied the Kemetic stuff. So you can connect a lot of the dots there. Let's see. Can you also cycle over with people if you're not? Yes. Joshua E.M. Massop says, can you cycle over with people if you're not careful? Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like if you have family members that like you end up having a grudge with or falling out with, and you never reconcile with your family. Okay. And it's something that over something that's very strong. Understand it's the strong emotional things that keep us tied in the cycle. If it's not something emotionally strong, it doesn't tie you. But if it's something emotionally strong and powerful, those are the things that keep you tied to people through lifetimes. Okay, good and bad. That's why sometimes you can meet somebody right off, and you can just feel that connection with them, and it's because you've had strong emotional ties before. But yeah, you can stay tied to people in a negative way until you learn the lessons. Okay, until y'all reconcile it on some level. All right, so that's what happens. Okay, Michael Peaks gave $50. Thank you, Michael Peaks. That's family again. Grand Rising, my beautiful KCL family. Hope everyone is manifesting their desires. Much love and abundance. Blessings to everyone. Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it. Y'all see how my family treats me? Y'all see what they do? Man, everybody should have family like that. For real. For real. Thank you, guys. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Freemasons or something to do it differently. Let's see. Hey, you're welcome, Joshua. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, you'll be stuck if you're not raising your vibration, and if you're not, and it's raising your vibration is reconciling. Okay, so you have to reconcile the crap that you're going through in life. That's really what it's about, and learning how to reconcile that. Okay. Animals consciousness through passing. Is their passing the same? Let's see. What do they believe about animal consciousness? It's not something I've ever studied specifically. As far as Kemetics is concerned, as far as just metaphysics, animals have a different type of consciousness than we do. So we can have like. No, I don't even want to go there. But they're a different type of consciousness. So the ideas of I know that there's some spiritual systems that says that if you don't do something a certain way, then you can reincarnate as an animal or something like that. And that's not the case. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I got to pay for it. I'm unsubscribing. Okay. Let's see. Are some dreams past life moments? Let's see. Kazu Oguru says, are some dreams past life moments? That's a deep question. And this is the thing you got to understand is that there is no time when you're in the dream. Okay. Time is only a construct of our brain. And science calls it the arrow of time, where we only see and believe that time is moving forward. Okay. But when you're outside of your physical ego brain, time no longer exists. And y'all have felt this because you have dreamed something, and it seemed like you might have been in this dream state for days, hours. And you wake up, it's only been like, 30, 40 minutes. Okay. So time in a dream does not exist. So past, present, past and future don't exist. There's only the eternal moment of now. Past and present are just different perspectives of a now moment. Okay. If that makes any sense. So, and what I mean by that is that even when we think of something that we remember in the past, guess when you're thinking about it? In the present. So in that sense, you connected to something that you knew was in the past, but is only in the now. Okay. So in that sense, there is no past and present. You can literally affect your past, or I'm sorry, you can affect your future by reorienting something in the past from a past memory. Okay. That gets way deep there. But yeah, there's no time. Time is only a construct of our brain, of our physical brain. Let's see. How does a person find out the terms of our soul contract? Good question. Good question. And one way you can do that is you can do like a life between lives regression. You can do that. A lot of times, one of the ways you can figure out what your soul contract is through your most difficult lessons that you have in your, or how can I say, your difficult experiences that you're having in your life. Okay, if it's something that repeats, especially through people, and this is what a lot of people don't get is a lot of times. Now I'll just use romantic relationships as an example. Is that you can meet different people, but they end up being the same type person in a different body. Okay. And what I mean by that is they might be three different people that you met over a period of time, but they end up being the same type of individual. You end up having pretty much the same experiences with them. Okay. When stuff like that happens, that means that there is something that you're supposed to learn, and you keep attracting that same type of individual. And usually you attract that type of individual because you're attracted to that type of individual for whatever reason might be. Okay. It's something about them and the way that they are triggers your what's the word I'm looking for? Your attraction, triggers your attraction to them. And that means that there's something inside you that you are going to have to change in order to not be attracted to that person, especially if it's someone or some types that are negative. So in that sense, each of these people are contracted with you to help you move through that lesson. So that's one of the ways that you know if there's a difficult situation that you find happening over and over and over, then that's probably a soul contract that something that you've contracted to learn, especially if it's something really difficult. Okay. Good question. Good question. Let's see. Do I get your birth chart reading from Miss Voche? Yeah. Voche has a new link, actually. Let's see. It's www.vovibes.com. So this is where you can go to her new website. Okay. So vovibes.com. All right. Let's see. Let's see. So TY Cloud9 says, if you keep attracting abusive men, then what? Am I supposed to stay instead of leave like I've been doing? Are you leaving like you've been doing, or are you meaning that you're staying like you've been doing? So the lesson, in TY9, if you keep being attracted to abusive men, there is something in you that is attracting you to those type men. And nobody can tell you what to do. But if you don't like those types of relationships, then no, you don't want to stay in them, you know? But if for some reason you keep connecting to abusive men, then you got to look within and ask yourself, what is the trigger that they are doing or causing that you are attracted to them? Because in the beginning, they're probably not abusive. Okay. You think, oh no, this person is really cool, you know? But I can tell you that there is going to be something about them that you're attracted to that is a cue to them and their abusive personality. And I'll just use this for an example. And I don't know if this is you, Ty Cloud9, so I'm just using this as a generality. But a lot of times a woman might feel that a man is showing love to her when he's jealous and possessive. Okay. That means, oh man, he really cares about me. He gets mad when somebody pays me attention, and, you know, and he doesn't want me to look at other people. Man, he must really love me. Okay. And that can be a true that this person is showing you love, but you don't realize that possessive personality can turn into something abusive if this person feels threatened. Okay, if they feel like you might leave them or somebody might take you away or whatever, then once they feel threatened, that's when they get abusive. But you are thinking that the possessiveness that they have is actually a form of love when it's not. Okay. So you got to figure out if you keep attracting those abusive men, you got to figure out what that trigger is. And usually that trigger is going to be tied to something from you growing up. And I'll just use myself as an example. When I first started getting out and dating, I would date women that were very needy, emotionally needy. Okay. And the relationships didn't always turn out good, because they were emotionally needy. They usually end up draining me, on some level. And but the reason why I was attracted to that type of woman was because on some level, I didn't feel like anybody could love me, any woman could love me that did not need me on some level, that I couldn't emotionally like try to fix or try to help emotionally. I just didn't think I was valuable on some level. So so when a woman that neediness, that kicked my attraction in. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one here. I can help her, And so for a long time, those are the type of women that I attracted. Okay. And until I figured out what was going on, I kept being attracted to those women until I figured out what happened. And that was the only way that I was able to change that. Okay. So, and a lot of times men, we're culturalized to think that we have to be the rescuer, the savior, the provider, protector, all this stuff, because women are supposed to be the weaker sex. Okay. It ends up creating relationships that are very toxic. All that stuff that we've been taught like that. And we got to reassess those type of things. Okay. Let's see. Alan says, how do you avoid cheating ass women who abuse and attempt to destroy you? Woo, man. That sounds like some venom there. Oh, man. Yeah, see, and this is the thing is, again, I'm going to turn it back to you, because if you're choosing, unless those women are like beating your ass and making you like choose them, you're voluntarily doing it. So at that point, you got to look at yourself, because it's not the women, especially unless all the women that you dealt with have gotten together at some point and conspired to treat you the same way. Unless they did that, which is highly unlikely, you're choosing them for a reason. And it's about you and what you need to change if you're choosing that type of an individual, that type of a woman to be with. Okay? That's really what it comes down to. So it's always going to come back to you. So we're never victims. Never victims. Let's see. Rob Creator says, hit the like button. It's free. Says, where else can you find these great conversations? Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. I've been on a binge watching a few dating shows here and there. The most common denominator is the need for self-care and self-appreciation. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Eugene. And people got to know how to speak that into the relationship too, and speak their needs in a relationship. So definitely. Let's see. Look like she's attracting a type of vibe. Yeah, what you're doing is like you're literally creating. Those people are reflections of you. So the people that we are attracted to romantically ultimately end up being the reflection of who we believe ourselves to be at our deepest, most intimate levels. So yes, on one level, it's saying that we are attracting them, but they just become a symbol for who we believe ourselves to be on some level. And it gets really deep. TY Cloud9 says, thank you for your wisdom. She gave $4.99. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ty Cloud9. I appreciate that very much. So yeah. But yeah, when it comes to romantic relationships, it's usually us that we're choosing these, and we're triggered by something. And if those relationships are not healthy, it's because you don't have a healthy, something's not healthy within you. And those relationships are meant to show you and to teach you, or I should say, they're meant to show you those things that are not being healthy or that are not healthy about you. So you can go, oh, I keep attracting the same type person. What is it that attracts me to them? Why am I attracted to them? And for me, I was attracted to the needy woman because of the relationship that I had with my mother. Okay, and my mother was a young mother, and she was going through her traumas and stuff like that. Now I'm her young son, and a lot of times she confided in me like her pain. Now my mother was not a very affectionate mother, but that's when, to me, that was a way for her to show love to me, that she valued me. Okay. And when I grew up, that's the way I assumed that a woman was going to value me, by being like me, being basically their emotional trash can. It is really what it was. And it took me years to figure that out. I realized that I was attracting the same type woman, but I couldn't figure out why. Okay. So once I figured out why, that's when I started to working on changing myself, and rewiring my mind is really what I started to do. Okay. Freedom Seekers gave $10. Thank you very much, Freedom Seekers. I definitely appreciate it. And Ava 7163 gave $20. Says, thank you, teacher. Thank you very much, Ava. I definitely appreciate it. You guys are very kind, very kind. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right. T. Wycliffe says, I'm about to stop using dating apps. It's those dating apps. Is it their fault? Oh man. Yeah, so when you're reading their profiles, Ty, you got to be like, wait a minute, okay. Yeah, that sounds good right there. Oh, wait a minute. That might be one of those triggers. So choose some different men, choose some different types. See, do what works for you, Ty. Yep. Let's see. Trina Hurt, what's going on, sister? How you doing? Says, peace, bro. Great information. Thank you, Trina. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. So Crystal Turner says, how would you deal with a relationship that you chose when you were asleep, but when you became more enlightened and this person is still in your life? Ooh, wait, Crystal. See, you want me to say, leave that mother? No. No, I'm not going to say that. So that's a tough one. And I think again in that time, you have to start to communicate how you're changing. You have to communicate your needs to that person, and see if that person is willing to meet your needs. And if they are not willing to meet your needs, then you have to assess whether or not you want to be in that relationship. Okay. And that's really what it comes down to. You have to assess at some point if that relationship is going to work for you or not. And if it's not, then you have to have the courage to take care of yourself and walk away. And a lot of times people don't want to be alone. They're thinking they've been in a relationship that is toxic. A lot of times self-esteem is low. They might think, hey, I can't meet anybody else. So man, if I leave them, I'll probably never get anybody else, and that fear holds people in a lot of times, but you have to assess the relationship. But that's a tough one. So Judy Smith Brown says, I have a friend that's experiencing that right now. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I can understand. But yeah, that was a deep question. Deep question. Also working on my self-love before I start showing love to my female crush. So yeah, and you have to, Shauna. Hey, you got to work on yourself. And sometimes, though, Shauna, there are times when you are in there's only lessons that you can learn while you are in the relationship. So you might not be able to fix everything about you outside of a relationship, because there are certain things that are going to come up that only come up during a relationship. So don't think you have to fix everything about yourself, because it's impossible. And sometimes there are things that are going to come out of you when you fall in love with a person. Insecurities that you never had before might come up when you fall in love with a person. That only happens because you're in that relationship. Then what do you do with that? You know, how do you handle those insecurities? So there have been people that I know that I've been in relationships with that I guess they never really had been in love before, and they could stay detached. But when they really felt something for me, then insecurities started coming out, you know? And man, we had to try to negotiate those things. A lot of times we couldn't, but you know, it happens. Too bad. So let's see. It said, Enoch says, MN says, too bad there's no KCL dating app. Dang, hey, I might have to don't give me no ideas, man. Hey, I might have to, hold on, let me write that down. I'm all about the business. Do a dating app for real. Oh man. So Shawnee says, I haven't thought about that before. Cool. Learning to be alone but not being lonely is a huge part of knowing yourself and self-love. Freedom seekers, I agree with that 100%. There's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely, you know? And a lot of people, they feel like if they're not with somebody, then they're lonely. And that's not the case. You have to be able to take yourself out and go out by yourself and be with you before you can really share being with someone else. Okay, so that's important. That's important. Yeah. So let's see. Iconic man says, yeah, I might have to look into that. And hey, don't y'all be trying to steal my idea. Look at now, it's my idea now. Oh man. Yep, definitely a difference between being lonely and alone, for real. And if you don't like being alone with yourself, if you can't do that and be alone with yourself, how in the hell is somebody else gonna like being alone with you? You can't enjoy being just entertaining yourself, dude. That's tough. That's tough. Oh. Thank you, Queen of Destiny. Thank you. I have to laugh at myself sometimes, you know, because that shit. Sometimes the funniest jokes is me. For real. I could be sitting up by myself and people be like, "What the hell is he laughing about?" I'm laughing at something I thought about myself. Just man, I remember I went to Puerto Rico. When I went to Puerto Rico, I was eating some ceviche. I love ceviche, man. That stuff is so good. And so the waiter had brought me out this plate, and I got the ceviche, and there was this like cup of sauce. So I asked him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "this right here, this stuff is really good. You know, this what is it?" He said, "It's plantain." I said, "Oh man, that's plantain. I thought that was cornbread." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I'm like, "Yeah, but it's real good, man." He says, "Yeah." He says, "You know, just just eat it with the sauce and stuff like that." So I've got the ceviche and I'm dipping the ceviche in the sauce, okay, and eating it. Shit was good too. He turned around and says, "No, sir, you're supposed to dip the plantain in the sauce." I'm like, I just cracked up laughing. I was good. I had that ceviche going in that sauce, man. Oh, we both had a big laugh. That was pretty funny. But hey, it was good. I guess I had created a new delicacy or something. I don't know, but it was good. Oh man. But anyway, man, ceviche mixed with plantain. Yeah, absolutely. It was good, Dulce Maria. And it was the sauce. I don't know. I don't even know what the sauce was, but man, I was, hey, boy, I was like, I was getting down with it. He's like, no, man, you're supposed to dip the plantain in it. Oh, that was so funny to me, man. I laughed the rest of the night at myself, but it was so funny. But man, but anyway, hey, exactly, Queen of Destiny. It was good to me, so hey, I think after he turned his back, guess what I did? Ceviche, bam. It was good. It was good. Oh man, let's see. All right, guys. Hey, well, man, time is already flown. It's 8:16, guys. So we're gonna have to shut it down, and we'll do it again next week. So all you guys that gave, I thank you so much. I really appreciate you. To my moderators, Fort Law, the creator, and Menace Aptara, thank you so much for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys so much. And all you guys for making this a high vibrational experience, and you guys with some great questions, man. I really appreciate those questions that you guys ask. Y'all are asking some deep stuff, man. It's just like I enjoy those questions because it makes me think, and it makes me pull information from my higher self, and make it come through. But it's good stuff. But at any rate, I'm going to shut it down. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll do it again next week. We'll be back. All right. Thank you, guys.